Hi guys, Danny from Dan's Tech. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing a mini gaming PC from Zotac. It's the EN1060 Magnus ZBOX featuring a GTX 1060, hence the product name, and also an i5, the 6400T I believe. If that's wrong I will correct myself as soon as I get off camera. Very nice system. It's about half the size of a PS4, very powerful, and you can expect to play whatever games you want to at 1080p. With very good settings, maxing out many titles. I will get into the benchmarks once I go over the machine, and then near the end, just really recommend the machine or not. It is quite pricey, with it being very small. Zotac have obviously designed the motherboard and the cooling solution, stuff like that. We'll also get onto the cooling solution. Very interesting stuff. So yeah, let's just jump into it, and let's review the EN1060 from Zotac. So peeps, to give a quick unboxing, inside the box on top you get the power adapter, a UK and EU power cable, a Wi-Fi antenna, the ZBOX itself, and many pieces of documentation and a driver disk for when you install your operating system. Now as for some core specs on the unit, it comes in at 21 by 20 by 6 centimeters, making this unit pretty damn small. The weight of the unit is 1.65 kilo with an M.2 SSD and 2 RAM sticks installed. Now as for the ports, this unit is absolutely loaded. It features 2 USB 3.1 ports at the front, one being the new Type-C connector, and 2 audio ports and a card reader. Around back we find dual USB 2 ports, dual USB 3 ports, 2 HDMIs, 2 display ports, 2 network ports, and a Wi-Fi antenna port at the right hand side. The unit features wireless AC Wi-Fi and also Bluetooth. Now as for some core internal specs, we have the i5 6400T clocked at 2.2 GHz with a boost of 2.8 GHz. And as for the GPU, we have the NVIDIA GTX 1060. Zotac's marketing team was kind enough to fit the system with a 0.5 TB Samsung 960 M.2 NVMe SSD and 16 gigs of crucial DDR4 memory for testing. Now this unit also sports room for a 2.5-inch drive, so if you're wanting to, say, install a mechanical hard drive or an SSD, you can indeed mount this on the plastic bracket included inside the unit. Also, just a word on the 1060 chip, this is indeed the 6GB model with a slightly cut down core clock when compared to the desktop counterpart. I get onto the frequency and also the temperatures of both the CPU and GPU after my benchmarking. So moving on to the performance, I ran many synthetic benchmarks and ran many games with the system. As for all the CPU benchmarks first, in the Intel Extreme Tuning Utility, I saw a score as high as 600 points, and as for the tests with the Cinebench software, we have around 420 points for the CPU test and around 89 frames per second in the built-in OpenGL video test. For comparison, I've included performance numbers from a personal i7 4790K, clocked at stock and overclocked to 4.4 GHz. As for games, I benchmarked many games at 1080p resolution. First up, for one of my favourite games on PC, Battlefield 4. Here we have 86.5 frames per second at the high preset. As for Battlefield Hardline, we see a slightly lower frame rate of 80.2 FPS at high settings also. Moving over to Steam games, first up we have GTA 5 at high settings with FXAA. We see 61.4 FPS, a very nice frame rate indeed for this game. And as for switching up the anti-aliasing to FXAA with 8x MSAA, we have a slightly lower FPS score of 56.8 FPS. On to Dying Light, our maximum settings, we have 67.1 FPS, and as for Killing Floor 2, we have a frame rate of 100.6 FPS at ultra settings. Moving over to Project Cars, we continue to see great numbers. We have 72.5 FPS at ultra, and finally, as for The Forest, we have 76.7 FPS at the high preset, really showing that the system is more than capable playing many video games at a resolution of 1080p with the potential of playing many at 1440p if desired. From these benchmarks, if you've never run a GTX 1060, you'll probably be able to tell that this chip can usually deliver slightly better results when paired with a much better CPU. I'm implying that the i5 6400T is somewhat a bottleneck in this system. Now you can see this when playing Battlefield 4 or GTA 5 for example. Within the task manager you can see the CPU is completely pegged, indicating a faster CPU would result in better frame rates. The MSI Afterburner software also backs us up with the GPU not being utilised fully in more demanding titles. Now I'm not saying I don't agree with Zotac's design choices for the system, as I'm soon going to be praising the thermals and the noise levels. What I just do want to get across is that you're not getting desktop GTX 1060 performance, as the 1060 in this machine is a slightly cut down desktop version, however it does have the same amount of VRAM. It is a little bit slower, and with the i5 you're not going to be getting the best frame rates in the world. However, moving on to the thermals and the noise levels of this mini PC, both are pretty damn impressive. First things first, idle temperatures are 46 for the CPU and 48 for the GPU, and where it gets interesting is when you just load the CPU, temperatures only seem to increase to 70 degrees, very good indeed. Now as for loading both components, the maximum CPU and GPU temperatures I recorded after all my game benchmarks were 68 degrees for the processor and 72 degrees for the graphics chip. The noise this machine makes is very acceptable for the form factor and left me rather impressed, and I've reviewed some pretty good processor and graphic card cooling solutions in the past 2 years. So taking apart the machine, it reveals 2 fans are doing the cooling, of which the heatsinks look to be made of pure copper, of which would explain the very good thermals and noise levels. Anyhow, let's conclude on this mini gaming machine on camera. So folks, there we are, that was the EN1060 ZBOX from Zotac. Very nice system, I really do like it. I'm very impressed with the thermal solution that Zotac have provided. A very, very quiet machine. It's probably quieter than mine. Mine has a very, very good MSI graphic card on there and a Noctua cooler. Yeah, and we all know Noctua. Fantastic coolers, Noctua. So yeah, would recommend the ZBOX. It is a little bit pricey, but looking around at other mini gaming machines, they're all pricey. Manufacturers don't exactly create these in bulk because not a lot of people do buy them. I suppose many people, you know, you can buy high-end gaming machines that are very large. You can put you can put together a system yourself relatively inexpensively. If you want a very, very small solution, this is a very good one. Very good thermals, noise levels. Yes, with it being a bare bones kit, you do need to add your own SSD and the RAM. Zotac Magazine was kind enough to send over the Samsung 960 Pro, 960 Pro, 960 Evo, and yeah, 16 gig of DDR4 memory, which you of course will have to buy to complete the system. You'll also need your own operating system. So yeah, very impressed with the system, would recommend it. That's about it from me. Sorry there hasn't been a video for a long time. Been busy. And yeah, next video will be a creative piece of content. Not too sure that one's going to be, but yeah, you'll see once the next video is published. Anyhow, I'm going to get on and sell a lot of components because, you know, I won't hang in onto them. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks very much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.